I was going to ask if Skip's ready to take whatever notes he's going to take.
Right, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Most important man there, the secretary. We can't go without it.
That's right.
Well, welcome. We have to make this work. Rick, again, I thank you very much for setting up and
No problem.
hosting.
Not a problem.
Troubleshooting and whatever else. I'm somewhat amazed I got mine on. My son left some parts for me and then went to Guatemala. So I talked to him the other night and he went, well, just find the stuff and figure it out. Yeah, thanks. Okay, I don't know, normal business. Welcome to the meeting. The program tonight was eventually will be to show and talk about a favorite or an unfavored Christmas stamp, as the case may be. And I hope everybody looks like it's doing well, and you can tell some people have obviously been very confined. I've been out and about a little bit, but we're doing all right. Any particular reports from any of the officers that are online with us?
I have, well, the bank account's going to end the year with 16,000 plus.
Okay. Is Expo closed out yet?
I'm sorry?
Is Expo closed out, or are we still waiting for the bill?
I have a couple of checks I need to deposit.
I think I heard a couple things still to go, but not going to materially affect where we stand on anything, I guess.
No, no.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. That's considering the year it's been, we're fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Ralph was on before. I wanted to thank him, if he's still on, for his positive attitude, the outlook, and getting Expo to go. And I don't see Tom Cunningham, but I want to thank him also for hustling up more dealers when we had a bunch of dropouts. That's pretty good. I guess the only kind of announcement is the next meeting will be, I was trying to count it up, January 6th, I believe, is the first Wednesday.
Yes.
And I think we will try an in-person in Arlington if situation doesn't change itself.
Right.
That that forces us to abandon that plan. That'll be the plan for the moment. We don't have a program offhand, but we'll hustle something up before then. Okay. Yeah. Skip.
I will give you a secretary's report. And as of today, we have 36 renewals, and 15 of those are donor renewals.
All right.
So we're about a third of the way there.
So kind of on the low side at the moment. Is that normal for past years? About this percentage?
Yes, that's about normal. We get usually by the first of the year we'll have half, and then I have to hound the rest to who say they forget and what have you. But anyway, that's where we stand.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, I guess when we're in person, maybe it's a little easier. People bring their dues in and pay when they have to get out and write it and mail it. Maybe it's not. I don't think of it as much, perhaps. I don't know. All right. Some people I had seen or heard had some show and tell stuff. I don't have any way to. It's kind of hard. I can't see who's doing what. So, Peter, you have something? I know.
Well, if I can face it the right way in the camera here, or is this show backwards or?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, this just came in the mail. So this is the toilet. This is the toilet paper stamp that came out from Austin.
Daniel might want it.
And it's a semi-postal. The actual stamp is on the right. So if you look over here, you can see it's kind of rouletted or something to that effect. It is actually printed on toilet paper, but what it is toilet paper that's somehow lightly adhered to a backing board Otherwise, it would totally fall apart because it's kind of hard to print it. And I actually got the uncut strip of 3. They said if you order 3, you'll get them in an uncut strip. Although there is a slight quality issue on the middle one. If you look at the line in the middle there, it's underneath the 3 lines of text where it's solid here and it's kind of broken up here. So, but I don't really want to try to send it back or anything, but it is kind of a unique item. Austria's been doing a bunch of really weird things. This is definitely one of them. So yes, it's real toilet paper, but you know, if you want to use it as postage, you'd have to probably take out this portion here, which I think is on self-adhesive backing behind it. And then you could actually use it as a 2.75 euro stamp, which whatever that pays for out of
I don't want to know how they cancel that.
well, like I joked, I said it's like postally used, I'll accept one. Not postally used, I'd rather not. But what you see here is something you don't usually see much in the US. You know, they talk about 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 meter, and in the middle here is 1 decimeter. And I remember growing up over there, we talked about decimeters. And here in the US, when we talk metric stuff, decimeter just never enters anybody's vocabulary. It's just 10 centimeters, or, deci for 10. So it's 1/10 of a meter. But nobody ever talks about that here, I guess. But I remember it in school from Switzerland. So it is kind of a unique item, but still, each of these is like $6 or $6.50 essentially. But by ordering 3, I also got free postage. So I didn't have to, I'd rather buy an extra stamp and save on the postage than just buy 2 or 1. So.
Peter, deciliter is also used in Europe.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
A glass of wine can be 1 deciliter.
Right, yeah, it is. And usually wine glasses in Europe are marked 1 DL or 2 DLs on the side, imprinted on the glass, so that they, heaven forbid, they don't give you a drop more than 1 deciliter for your, wine in the restaurant. They measure it out. You get a 7 deciliter bottle or 7.5 deciliter bottle. No, yeah, 750 mils, right? So they want to make sure they give you exactly what you're supposed to get.
Now, the purpose of that stamp is to enforce separation during the pandemic, isn't it?
Right, yeah. As it says there at the bottom, distance that unites us. Verbindet means to unite or, come together. So, and then I guess because of, I don't know why the elephant, I guess a baby elephant is 1 meter in size, and it seems to be filled with foil stamp.
Peter, I got the news release from them and they said that that's the little baby elephant is the symbol in Austria for social distancing. So
really?
they put it on this stamp.
Must be the only country where they use that. But
it is.
Well, anyway, it's a neat item. So
Yes, it is.
That is a little different item. Yes, that's too much of that. Anybody else? I know some else. Can't see all the people on the screen.
Wow.
I guess we're all saving it for the program.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Which is more alcohol or what?
I don't know. This was a BYO V. You know that, right, everybody? Okay. Excuse me. Let me go get my stuff out here. Organized I'm not, sorry. All right, is there anything else before we get in the program? Anybody had anything else anybody brought up at this point?
Yeah, I mean, since it's show and tell, I can tell you a little bit about what I've been doing the past week or so. Judy had mentioned to me that I guess we were talking about videos, philatelic videos that the APS has on YouTube. And they're not alone. There's a whole lot of people that have videos out there. And I don't know if any of you guys are getting on YouTube and looking at videos or anything like that as far as stamps collecting is concerned. But I went on there to start trying to catalog the videos that are out there and available for people to look at on stamp collecting. Well, I went to APS and I have found that they have something like probably close to 200 videos out there. So nobody's ever made a list of these as far as I know. So that's what I've been playing around with for the last week or so. And what I'm doing is making a list and then putting a link to the video in the text file. So it makes it pretty easy. You can go through and read about what the videos are, and then actually just click on it, and it'll bring the video right up for you. It's really pretty.
I was going to say,
cool.
with 200 of them, it might be a bit much to publish them in the newsletter. Even
yeah,
if
that's what I was thinking too, Peter. That would be a big newsletter. So I don't think we want to do that. Say what, Stanley?
Put it in several.
Yeah, maybe 10 at a time.
Well,
what you could publish in the newsletter is a link to where you can read this list.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Ken.
I'll have to see if I can put that on Facebook and make it available for everybody to download. I'm going to have to talk with Scott English about it as well, because I pulled a lot of stuff directly off of their website as far as descriptions of the video files. So, but I don't think they'll have a problem with us referring to their YouTube stuff.
Well, the more stamp publicity, the better.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing. That's not a show, but a tale anyway. So.
So as you're
Anybody else have something?
Well, I was going to say, as you're watching movies over the holidays, like I watched 2 movies with Annie here in the last few days, and one of which I have already written up as a full-page write-up, on my TV philately series of articles, where this last one I watched was, or second to last one, not the most current one, was the movie Another Mother's Son. And it was, one of those World War II movies, and it takes place on the island of Jersey. And there is a cover shown very briefly, and it's really hard to do a screen capture sometimes because they go by so quick, and the camera moves and you see it, but if you pause it, it's a blur. But again, I did a little bit of research on what was shown, and including the historical context of it. And then there's another one that I saw just the other day, which was yet another, one of those true to life, true story World War II movies. And this one actually played in Austria. It's called A Hidden Life. And it was actually, I'm not sure if it was a contender for one of the Oscars 2 years ago or something, for something or other, but it's also very good. And, again, I got a fleeting glimpse of a couple of stamps shown on a cover in, as part of the movie. I tried to get the best shot I could, but I'll have to analyze that one a little bit later. But, if you got any sort of a modern TV, you should be able to pause like me. These are all on Amazon. So I just pause it and then try to go back and forth to where I get a decent screenshot. And since it's a 55-inch TV, I got a big screen, and I can just take a, screenshot of it with my smartphone or regular phone and get a fairly decent, screenshot that I can use for the articles. So to me, it's kind of fun. And, the theme always is, did they get it right? Well, I'd say 95% of the time, no, not even close on a lot of this stuff. Reasonable in some areas and just totally off the ballpark on others. I think there was one movie that supposedly took place in the 60s, and they showed a B or D or C, one of those letter numbers stamps from like the 70s. It's like, that's not even close, But it happens, and it's kind of fun to write those things up.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Anybody else? Jump right in. All right, well, I'll get on with the program then, I guess. I'll start up here and see if I can get this goes up all right. Right side up? Yeah, okay. Let's back out a little bit. These were, there were several Christmas stamps that I looked at that I kind of liked. As most of you probably know, I'm a toy train collector. And they issued a couple of stamps way back that had fanciful looking trains and engines on them. This one, which is from 2005, I believe, a set of 4, which was called Christmas Cookies. And it meant the most to me it looks like, if you're familiar with roll and cut cookies, and you make the dough, you roll it out, and you cut it out with some kind of a stamp kind of thing, and then decorate them and put that down. That's shaky. When I was a kid, my mother would make the dough and refrigerate it, and you get it out later, work on it, and roll them out. And myself and my sisters, when they got a little older, we'd cut them and decorate them. They weren't as fancily decorated as those were. In terms of those, look like they're frosted and iced and whatever. Ours usually consisted of some pieces of nuts and pieces of cherry and some chocolate chips and some sprinkles or whatever. But it brings back some very good memories. And when I had my kids, we did that for a number of years until I kind of got beyond that point. My wife and I continued to make those for a while and send them off as Christmas gifts to people. So those particular stamps set up for that kind of brought back some very good memories to me.
Rich, my address is in the listing, so if you want to mail those things off to me, that'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
You can mail us some of these.
But I found out, one thing I found out is they don't ship well. They're a little thin, and they tend to break badly, but you can eat the crumbs. Anyway, drop cookies transport much better, we found out over the years.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody, who wants to go next? Don't be bashful.
I'll go.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
My favorite stamp is 1974 issue, the self-adhesive. You got to give, whoop, is it upside down? Well, anyway.
That's right.
No, it was right side up.
You got to give the post office credit for effort anyway. And most of you know that they didn't last too well. They yellowed pretty bad. Although, if you look, you can find some pretty good ones that didn't yellow. I've got a cover here. It's got a Currier and Ives cachet that really it's not too bad. I've got about 10 of these first day covers, and the next self-adhesive they did was in 1989, was a 25-cent Eagle and Shield, which was a little more successful. And of course, that kind of opened up to all kinds of self-adhesives we're getting now. But anyway, that's my favorite. I really I enjoy that. And whenever I find first day covers or actually used covers that have where the stamp is not yellowed, I'll buy it and add it to my collection.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, can I go next then?
Sure, Ken.
The topic is my favorite Christmas stamp, right? And mine is, I believe, the very first Christmas stamp ever issued 122 years ago. And this is it. Hard to get it reproduced very well on the camera, is it? Can you all see that?
Yes.
This is the Canadian Christmas stamp from 1898, and at the bottom there is a quotation, which I will read to you. It says, "We hold a vaster empire than has been." And you can see that there was a great deal of pride in the British Empire to be able to show that the map of the world was largely colored red. And of course, Canada is still a dominion in the British Commonwealth, and proudly acknowledges the Queen as the head of the state in Canada. But I believe that this is interesting also because it's in 1898, tricolor stamps were not very common, and it just was very nicely produced. There are, as you probably know, there are two versions of it. This is the version that has the blue background, and my example I picked out because it's clearer than the one with the lavender colored background. I don't know why it was that they didn't use blue for the sea throughout, but they have the two color the two versions of the coloring.
I remember reading something about that stamp that, you know, everybody calls it the Christmas stamp, and that's true. It does say Xmas or whatever on it, but it wasn't really commemorating Christmas as such. It was just issued on Christmas. That's my understanding on that particular issue. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, but nevertheless, you have to regard it as a Christmas stamp, don't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Since it does say Xmas on it.
Yeah.
It was issued for the occasion on December 25th, 1898. Universal penny postage went into effect across the British Empire. Well, Canada did not use the pound sterling, thus their stamp is 2 cents, not 1 penny.
Interesting.
Thank you, Ken.
All right.
Anybody next up?
I'll show one that that I had at the Granbury meeting. This is kind of an unusual stamp. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's a Portugal stamp, and it's got the star of Jesus there, and that star is actually an LED, and it can be activated by a certain signal from a telephone, from a cell phone. But I don't have a phone that will actually broadcast that signal. My son has one, and we had it lit up the other day, and it sits there and flashes off and on. So it's really a pretty cool stamp. First one that's ever been made with an LED on it.
That's cool.
Well, as the adage goes, there's an app for that, right?
Yeah, there's an app for everything.
Rick, I think if you held that in one hand and put your finger in a socket of the other hand, it would light up.
Oh, let me try that. Hang on.
When did they issue that stamp, Rick?
2019.
Okay, last year then.
Yeah, last year.
All right.
It's pretty cool the way it lights up. It flashes really quickly, but and really just looking at the stamp, it's just, you know, just like a regular stamp. You can't really tell it. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thanks so much.
Okay, I guess
I'll
step into the ring. I went through the Christmas stamps that I had, and I came up with 4 of them. Or no, I guess 3 of them. All right, I'm going to show you what I think is the worst Christmas stamp to have been issued.
I agree.
Just didn't do anything for me. And then this one is my favorite Madonna stamp. Now, I'm sorry I'm not as versed as you guys are in telling you what year, what, you know, who did it and all that stuff. Since I'm not collecting anymore, I don't pay any attention. I'm sorry.
Well, what's the denomination on that, Judy? Is that
29.
It's 34 cents.
Oh, 34.
34%.
Yeah.
So
And
that was a little while back.
The ugly one is 37. Whoops. That one's 37. But now my theme every year for Christmas is snowmen. I love snowmen. So this is my favorite snowman set. And it's a 37-cent stamp also. So this is my favorite one. So that's mine. Sweet
Okay.
and oh, wait a minute. I thought I had 4. Yeah, and this was, I love this Christmas Santa Claus because
those are nice.
What you think of Santa, you know, in the early days.
Yeah, it's like Father Christmas, like a European Santa.
There you go. Yeah. And this is a 34-cent stamp also. Okay.
Well, I guess I'll show mine. Okay, this is a 1970 Christmas Island. I have always loved this stamp. It's one of my favorite stamps. I just love the design. I love the coloration, and it's just one of the things that really appeal to me. Now, my ugliest stamp is, there we go, Tokaloo, and they have, New Zealand Post puts out stamps for them, and they have been putting out some of the ugliest stuff for years. And this rivals right on up there with the stuff they put out. It's not much on the Christmas theme, but it's their annual Christmas stamp for 2019.
Yeah, they don't care what they put out. They know somebody's going to buy it, right?
I have a question for you. Do those stamps actually get sold in Tokelau, or are they only available from New Zealand, like the Pitcairn Islands?
I don't know. I'm on a new issue service. Been on one since 1995. I have not seen any used covers from Tokelau, except way back when they first started issuing stamps.
Mm.
And you mentioned Pitcairn. I also collect Pitcairn, and the Pitcairn Philatelic Society people who run it have quit or resigned or retired, and they turned it over to some outfit in England, and they have not issued a stamp since the spring. So I'm just kind of curious to see if they're going to start their new issue service again. Anyway, that's just a little tidbit.
Is that the ones where they ran most of the people off the island because they were scared they were going to have an eruption or something like that?
No. That was Krakatoa.
No, it was Tristan da Cunha.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, Judy, you forgot one of the snowman Christmas stamps here from the Charlie Brown issue from a couple of years ago. That one had one on it. I had to go dig for it. That's why I was turned away for a second.
Okay.
So that's kind of a cute one with Pigpen and Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Oh, and Charlie Brown's, everybody loves Charlie.
That's right.
Loves the Peanuts, period. Well, have we heard from you, Peter?
Down the line. Anybody? Jim? Bell, you got anything?
Well, that's the only Christmas stamp I had. Otherwise, it was my toilet paper once.
All right, I have one, and it is. Let's see, where is the camera on this fool thing? Ah, there it is, and it is this one, which is Scott 1384 from 1969. And it is a winter scene in Norway, Maine. And actually, I thought somewhere along the line, I thought it said Norwalk, Connecticut, which one of my ancestors helped settle initially back in 1650. But when I looked it up this evening, it turns out it's in Maine, not Connecticut, but it's still a pretty stamp. And of course, most of you that collect US also know that it comes with 4 pre-cancels. Baltimore, I forget the others, but those are kind of hard to find. They're not particularly high priced in the Scott catalog, but Memphis was another one, but they're not real common to find. So, but that's my favorite one.
That would be mine too.
Skip, that stamp has a lot of varieties. I've got a page of a bunch of varieties where the chimney is raised, the chimney's in the front of the building, chimney's in the back, different colored, chimney's red, chimney's orange, trees clear off in the background. Some of them are brown, some of the issues are green. Really kind of fascinating because of the printing process. They got just a little bit out of whack on some of those.
Gonna say,
I think I read that somewhere, but I don't have, and I've got a whole bunch of them, but I haven't really sorted those out looking.
Take a look at them, and And you'll see the raised chimney, the red chimney, orange chimney. There's quite a variety. About, I'd say probably 15 or so different varieties.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the other Christmas one I just got, it took my post office in Plano 6 weeks after the first day of issue to finally get these because they're not on thing. I'm trying to get this the right orientation here. So this is one with 10 different so-called winter scenes, and it's actually a very nice booklet with, you know, if you're into fauna or barns or other things, you know, it's got a lot of nice variety in it.
Yeah, those are kind of pretty.
Yeah, they came out October 16th, but I only got it like a couple of days ago. It took them that long to get it in.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing down here. We were trying to buy those Christmas stamps and stuff, and like they didn't carry them. I'm going, what are you carrying? The local post offices don't seem to. They certainly don't get the whole variety of everything that comes out, but they don't even seem to have what you would think would be a popular issue like Christmas stuff.
I found that our local post office doesn't carry a lot of stamps like that. However, the old post office, which is over on, I think it's Don Dodson in Bedford, carries quite a few of the new ones. So I went over there and they had those winter scene stamps. Plenty of them. The guy said, how many you want?
Well, I broke down and ordered from the fulfillment center because I just got tired of chasing stuff. All right, who else we got up here on the picture line?
I have one that I don't have an image of, but I can describe it. It is from sometime in the 70s. It is Scott number 1729, and it is Washington at Valley Forge. It shows Washington in uniform with his sword, kneeling, obviously in prayer. And I really like that one.
That is a nice one. Yes, I know what.
Yeah, it's a great stamp.
Yeah.
That was quite a rough year for those guys.
Yes.
Let me throw in something I was going to do earlier in there. Trivia question, maybe everybody already knows. What was the first year that the U.S. issued a Christmas stamp?
62.
Wise guy. What was the subject matter?
Wreath.
You're good.
Candle and wreath.
Wreath and candles, that's right. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm ready to go on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
You can meet Ken Jennings or somebody.
We didn't issue a Christmas stamp until 62?
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange. Odd.
And then a number of years they only issued one. And for a while they would issue a religious one year and a secular one next year. And then they started doing two, one of each. And, you know, and they got fancier with multiples of the secular stamp.
Yeah.
You don't go broke trying to find them all.
Yes, you do.
Really.
Anyway, who else you got? Art, did you have something?
Sure. Let me see if this share screen thing will go, because I actually have a slide program I'm going to give next week on these. So I'll just share one slide from you. If the host will enable screen sharing. Right now I can't put it up on the screen.
Let's see.
Enable screen sharing.
Well, I hit the button. Can you try it again and see if it works?
There we go. Everybody see these stamps from Cuba?
Yep.
Oh,
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what Cuba did was in the 50s, they made a big business of Christmas stamps. And these are the first 4 sets they put out. And what went on was that they invited Americans to send all their Christmas cards to Cuba, and they would stamp them with these stamps and send them back. So they were receiving packages of 50 or 100 envelopes to mail back to the U.S. And these are what the stamps they did. So I guess it was some sort of moneymaker for them. They continued issuing stamps like this up to 1961. So it actually lasted 2 years after Castro took over.
Hey, Art.
And after that, there were no more. So that's
Do you
what I
realize
had.
that one of your stamps is an error stamp? The 2-cent stamp, upper row, second left, says 1931 to 52, and the other one to the left of it says 51 to 52.
It's just bad printing. They're all 51 to 52.
Well, that 5 looks like a 3.
It's probably what you can see what they did on those 4 on the left. They just printed a frame, and then they ran it through the press 1 year with the 51 to 52. But I doubt that that's an error because it's
but I mean, look at that number. That, you know, the 5 is a vertical on the upper left side, while the 3 has a diagonal, and that looks like a diagonal, not a vertical. Probably a typesetter got it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like a 5 on my screen.
But that's interesting.
With a little chunk missing from it on the left of the 5, where it looks kind of sort of like 31.
Yeah. But no, that's it.
Anyway, it's pretty
I've
clear.
got more of these if you want to look at some more, but I think that's the only one I wanted to really share. So
looks like they got Franklin's national bird there.
Oh.
Yeah, they thought turkey was a Christmas theme too, apparently in 1955.
Those ones in the left look kind of homemade almost, don't they?
Yeah, they're all geared towards the American market. And when they issued the last one, 1961, I think the Bay of Pigs occurred, didn't it?
Yeah.
So there were no more after that. And of course, the US came out with its first Christmas stamp in 1962.
There was an amusing article in our newspaper that said that nobody really likes turkey. We will only eat it once a year.
Well, I smoked a turkey this year for the first time. It was pretty doggone good.
Uh-huh.
Well, Art, thank you. That's the most interesting one to say.
Was.
Welcome.
Tom, do you have something?
Nope.
No. Jeff, nice to see you. How you doing? That's on mute. Okay.
There's the stamp you guys were talking about. Not a great example, but it's.
No, that is a good example.
Yeah.
Well, it's horrible. The upper left corner is pretty short perf there, and I didn't scan it straight either, so. But that could be fixed. It's just one I happened to run across when you guys mentioned it, so.
Well, you're
good deal, yes.
on the spot.
I'm sorry. Jeff, did you have something to add in?
Oh, there's Chuck.
Yeah.
Hi, Chuck. You got a stamp?
No, I don't. But I guess you could do the snowman thing with me.
Oh. I'll share my snowmen with you.
I was hoping Ray Cartier would have been on this conversation or this thing.
Yes.
One of the stamps I'd gotten was, let's see, let me get myself back on the screen where I can see what I'm putting up. It was the U.S. issued two different sets of stamps that had a train, a stylized toy train in them. And I know from Ray all the time, one of the artists that he knows is Chris Cal, or Callie, I'm not sure the pronunciation, who does a lot of artwork for U.S. stamps. He happened to do these stamps and designed them. I didn't know if Ray was aware of that. I know Ray has a lot of covers and cachets that Chris has done for him. And he did the cachet for that also. But yeah, he's not taking any stamp with a train on it. This is the one from '92, and it's the collective train stamps of trains. That's pretty. It looks pretty good, like you would have seen a toy train in the early 1900s. That's about, I don't know what they would look. They'd be, well, Lionel made them in electric versions, you know, for run on track and stuff. But there was an earlier block that came out that had train on it and a little more fanciful design. And I hadn't noticed until I just pulled the block out and looked at it this time. There was really a pull toy. You can see the pull cord, if you will, leading from the front of it. But, so those are among the ones I like. Anybody else got something?
How about James Taylor?
No, I didn't.
All right.
I got one.
James is just soaking up knowledge here. That's what he's doing.
That's right.
He's a lurker.
Well,
it's an empty glass. You got to fill it up here.
I have nothing more at this point to add. Anybody has any other general discussion?
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
Do we do the office?
Christmas?
Were we supposed to do the officers at this meeting, or?
No, that's in January.
January?
Well, swearing in, that'll be in January.
Oh, okay. Swearing at?
Yeah. Well, we have a good representation, though. I mean, all three directors are here, and we got all the officers are on this call. Thank you very much for the support.
I was going to say, if some people can't make it or there's inclement weather, can we do the swearing in electronically?
I don't know. Let's see. Most of us are holdovers. So I don't know if we have to go in again or not. I'm not sure how that works technically.
It works the same as being new.
Yeah, we would go through the routine anyway.
Yeah.
And certainly, yes, Stan will be new to the office. Certainly disappointing with the year that we couldn't have a nice Christmas party.
Right.
And the funds and so forth. It breaks out not so good that way.
We can do
I guess one thing, I'll just throw it out. Skip had mentioned to me and someone else about, we hadn't had an auction in a while. We could maybe, instead of waiting out till May, schedule an auction earlier in the year. I think Skip had proposed that maybe March would be a suitable lead time for people to prep stuff. We'll get that information out in the next newsletter.
Well, most of us are old enough, we should be able to qualify for the vaccine. I think, by the time.
Yeah, early in the process, right?
Yeah. So maybe we can get together in March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully by then, that it will reach that way and people will have a comfort level that feel safe enough to come out. I know we've had, 15 to 17 people, a couple meetings we held in person.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had any feedback about people having difficulty with that, which is I'm grateful for.
It's been over 2 weeks since they had the show. Nobody's come down with the virus. So I guess we dodged that bullet.
Okay.
That's great.
That's a good
if something
thing.
happened, would they have notified Ralph, or how would they have?
Yes, they would have
What
notified.
done?
Speaking
Okay.
of Ralph, he's left us a message in the chat line saying, I've enjoyed seeing and hearing everyone. I'll need to do this next time from another computer that has a camera and a working microphone. Merry Christmas. See you next year.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave, I got to tell you about an email I got that somebody said for the first time in their life, they put more alcohol on the outside of their body than they have on the inside.
Yeah.
And I responded back, I'm still working on that one.
Haven't got there yet, huh?
It's not over yet, right?
Stiff competition here.
I like your hat, Ken.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you all. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Everybody, let's hope
Merry
for a
Christmas. Yeah.
better year.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
Unless you want to stay on and talk.
I got a walk to take.
A little cold and windy out there, Peter.
Oh, not too bad.
It is
Bundle
over.
up. Take care, everybody.
Good night, Rich.
Good night.
Hey, Ken.
Okay, you too.
I've been watching The Crown. Have you seen that show?
Oh, yeah, we have. Yes, yeah.
Oh, man.
People have been wondering whether the royal family watches it. I'm sure they don't.
I bet they have to. I would think they'd have to approve it or something, you know?
No.
Man. They go into some secrets there, don't they?
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Stuff I never heard of, you know?
Well, what a world that we know nothing about, really.
Yeah. Not sure I really want to.
No, right. Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night, Ken.
Hey, Rick, if you have the, was it John from Connecticut? Is that his name? That
his
want to know
last
about the Texas stuff?
Let me look on my email.
I think you had told me you forwarded from him to me.
Yeah.
Since I can't get my email to work.
You want me to forward that to the other email address?
No, I actually got it, but I can't send anything. Well, I can on another one if I can find it. I just want to let him know I don't know diddly about what he's asking about.
John Withers.
Yeah, I call myself a collector, and I've got tons and tons of stamps, and a whole bunch of old albums, but I don't have the knowledge base the rest of you guys seem to have.
I don't know what he's talking about either. You know, sometimes I think he goes off on a tangent with what he's collecting. You know, he collects first day covers, and I think he's looking for certain covers by a certain artist. And I'm not sure exactly.
You mentioned something about his family before him that were in Texas, and
he says we have ties to Texas through Grapevine, Houston, and San Antonio, and family lore has great uncles at the Alps. Recently, I received some cover items and info from a friend in the Columbia, South Carolina Philatelic Society, including a special cover from Stonewall, Texas. Attached are some examples of what I'm working with, including a photo from years back.
That's right, there was attachments. I didn't see the attachments either.
Oh, you didn't see the attachment? I'll send it to you again if you want. You know.
Okay.
I'll send it. I'll forward it to that. JL tent.
You know how many times people, I said, no, that's Enterprise, not tent. But it looks like tent, so I stopped correcting them and just started accepting it.
Okay, you should have it. I think. Maybe not. No, not yet. Hang on.
Send it to that's my porn email.
Yeah.
Oh, I throw away about 30 emails that are caught by the spam filter every day on that.
After you get a good look at them.
Like I said, I may be dumb, but I ain't stupid. I don't click on those links. I've been on the internet since '92. I've learned a few things. Well,
anyway,
I got
I'll forward this other one to you too, just in case.
Now.
And then there's a Children's Chronicles thing. I'll ship that one to you too.
If you post on the Stamp Chat on Facebook, you do that sometimes, don't you?
I can put stuff on Facebook, but I'm not sure how much I can put out there.
I'm politically opposed to Facebook right now with all their censorship, but
okay.
I mean, I don't care which side they're on. If you censor, and I'm against censorship, period. But I see Rick Howe posted in this, that, or something else. Maybe it's a Mid-Cities Facebook page.
Yeah.
I get that, but I think that comes in on another email.
Huh.
Third one, fourth one, I never look at. It's AT&T, and I never.
Oh, that was from Skip. I forwarded that to Skip because I run that Facebook page for the club, and I put the meeting notices on there. So once I put them on there, then I'll forward it over to Skip. So.
And I found that today after I had asked you to send me the information. I found that on Facebook. So
yeah, okay.
So I said, I already had it anyway.
So you did get on Facebook. Okay.
Well, actually, the notice come in on this jail tent.
Oh, okay.
And so then I went and looked at it. Yeah, that's a good page. It's a pretty good page. Got a lot of stuff on it.
Well, thank you.
And
I put all of it on there. I don't know why anybody else won't post stuff on there. I mean, Ken Aldridge posted some stuff a couple times, but most of the time, I'm the only one that'll post anything on there.
Well, I get 5 or 6 notices every day that somebody had posted in Stamp Chat.
Okay.
Which is another Facebook thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go look at them.
Is that the one from the APS?
Maybe.
Yeah, they do a thing called Stamp Chat, and that's I think they're putting out 2 videos a week on Stamp Chat.
Well, it's a stamp collecting group on, you can do all kinds of groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it's gun collectors or something. Well, actually, we did have one on there. There was a wheel gun group on, pistols. I mean, yeah, revolvers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's still active or not. I haven't checked into it a long time. I don't know.
That's probably politically incorrect,
Well, good. I need to be into it then. I try to be politically incorrect as much as possible. Oh, like I said, any kind of censorship or telling me what to think,
I'd be all over that, man. I tell you, I'd be jumping.
Rebel in me comes out big time.
I'd be jumping all over those things, man. I'd be trying to see if they could censor me for everything,
Yeah.
Funny thing I found about Facebook is you can post a picture of anything, and they're not going to do anything about it. So you can put the text on your screen in a Word file or anything else, and you do a screenshot of it and post it as a JPEG on Facebook, and they ain't gonna do a damn thing about it. So yeah, so you can get around it that way. Play around with it and figure them out. I get a lot of fun that way.
I found one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was on a Facebook page. It was a picture of George Patton and, General Patton, and anything with Patton, I jump on. He actually, Eisenhower, as much as I liked Ike, he didn't actually win the war. Patton won it for him.
Patton was down in the trenches.
Yeah, in spite of Montgomery and Bradley, but anyhow, plus the fact that I found out he's on my family tree.
Uh-huh.
Not descended from him, but we have a common ancestor. So,
okay.
Whose name was also James Taylor, by the way. He was one of the early settlers in Virginia. So, a whole bunch of famous people descended from him. But like you said before, I need to find out which one of them has money and go tell them I'm kin to them.
There you go. You get on Facebook, you trace them down that way. I got a biker friend on Facebook, and man, he gets around this stuff all the time about posters. wild ass pictures on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how he's kept from being kicked off, you know.
I don't know. I have a friend that, well, actually, he worked in my department. He was basically my second in command, but he posts some really wild stuff, mostly bikers and stuff that I wouldn't repost.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Afraid my pastor might see it.
Yeah, he might enjoy it though. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? No, I don't think so. Not him. No. Well, I was talking to last night the state president. Yeah, of course he's the president of Texas Numismatic Association, and he was showing me some. He bought a sack full of stamps from envelopes. Actually, they were all legal documents from Mexico.
Huh.
And he was asking one of the guys that is Hispanic, asking him, would you translate this and tell me what this is about? But he picks up all kinds of Texas stuff.
Huh.
He is really into Texas. Philately, and well, he bought a whole bunch of stuff from Topper at the Stamp Expo. He said he spent more time with Topper and not very much with anybody else at the expo. But
yeah, that's usually where I spend a lot of my time too.
Yeah. In fact, I talked to Mr. Topper. I said, you know, I've really been disappointed. We have the president of the Texas Numismatic. We have the governor of this region, Numismatic. We had two other people from the Texas Numismatic. We had Oklahoma I can't say that word. Philatelic Association was here, but Texas wasn't represented. Why? And not represented again this year. Yes, you're here, but you're not. He said, well, we'll have somebody here as a representative this year. And I think they were there for Friday, I believe. They didn't come back on Saturday. But I just thought it was a shame that state organization wasn't represented in our show.
Yeah. Well, it's a strange situation now anyway. So.
Well, they were having a lot of trouble. They had a lot of plans and everything blew up in the administration down there. Had to get that all straightened out. I knew about that anyway, but he said that threw a wrench into everything. Of course, I spent more time talking to his wife than I did to him.
She's a nice lady.
She is. She's really nice. And but he was busy and customers come up and he's talking to them and she'd be left sitting there talking to me. But it's okay. I enjoyed talking to him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I get off here. We could chat forever, I guess. But
all right, Jim. Good talking to you.
I don't say very much most of the time, but once you get me wound up, hard to say.
I'll have to see if I can find something to get you wound up next time.
Politics, religion, guns. It ain't hard.
Politically incorrect, right?
Anything politically incorrect, yeah. In fact, I had to stop watching to come get on the meeting. My cousin directed me this afternoon to a station I didn't know anything about. It's OAN is the network. One America Network.
Really?
OAN. And I found it and started watching it. And President Trump had released a video, 45 minutes, on all of the things that were wrong with the election and all of them frauds and errors they found and everything.
Yeah.
It was the only station that had it on.
Of course.
In fact, C and I both were cruising other stations, including Newsmax didn't have it. Fox, of course, didn't have it. We're pretty disappointed with Fox now.
Yeah.
But, and then as soon as that went off, I was watching Rudy Giuliani in Michigan testifying, or actually he wasn't testifying. He was the lawyer and had other witnesses there. But I had to stop that and come get on here. But I recorded it.
There you go. There you go. You can spend all night looking at it on your DVR.
Well, hey, my nickname isn't Texas Rebel for nothing. I'm full-blood Texan and been rebel of my whole life. I spent most of my life in trouble.
Yeah.
Not real trouble, just.
I understand.
Get a good scolding.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I don't know how many times my daddy had to come to school and get me out of detention for fighting on the school ground. And the bad thing was, my daddy was pastor of the only Baptist church in those little towns.
Well, that's why. You know what to say about preacher's kids, man.
I know what they say, yeah. Oh, I guess I was the poster child for that saying too. And my brother just never in any kind of trouble.
Yeah. But there's always one.
Yeah, he was the black sheep, I guess. Yeah. All right, Rick, I'll let you go, brother.
All right, Jim, take it easy.
Thanks.
Man.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.